You know that quiet, persistent voice? The one that tells you you're falling short? That maybe you're just not good enough.
Mm-hmm. Even when people around you are saying, you're doing great, it just doesn't quite land.
Exactly. It's this weight, this stress that kind of underlies everything.
Yeah.
So welcome to the deep dive. We're going to get into the material you shared with us, all sorts of notes and research exploring this really common, often painful feeling.
Right. Our mission today is basically to unpack it. What is this feeling? Where does it maybe come from?
And how does it actually affect our lives day to day? And crucially, what do these sources say we can maybe do about it? How to build up that self-worth, that confidence.
We've got some fascinating stuff here. Clinical perspectives, mindset ideas, even some biology around confidence.
Yeah. Going to pull out the key takeaways for you, give you a clearer picture.
Okay, so let's start with what is this feeling, really?
Because everyone feels insecure sometimes, right?
Yeah.
That's normal. A bit unsure before a presentation, or maybe you replay a tough conversation.
Totally normal. But what the material highlights is that for some people, it's much more than that. It's this constant internal state.
Yeah, something that really gets in the way, personally, socially, at work. It's not just occasional doubt, it's feeling fundamentally inadequate.
And a really helpful distinction the sources make right off the bat is between self-worth and self-esteem. We kind of use them interchangeably sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
Me too. But they point out a difference that's, well, pretty key for understanding this.
Okay, so what's the difference then?
Self-worth is described as like this core belief in your inherent value, just as a person.
Okay, I am valuable, full stop.
Exactly. I am. It's meant to be stable, fundamental, not really dependent on what you achieve or what others think.
The material used that roly-poly toy analogy, right?
Yeah, I love that. The toy with the weight at the bottom, you knock it over, but it always pops back up.
Right. That weight is like self-worth, that inner stability, knowing you have value just because you exist. It weathers the storms better.
Precisely. Then you have self-esteem. And that's more about I do.
Okay, I do, as in
It's based on your performance, your skills, what you achieve, how you see your own abilities in different areas.
so it's what you think about yourself based on, like, competence, success.
Yep. And because of that, it tends to fluctuate way more than self-worth ideally should.
Makes sense. You nail a project, self-esteem gets a boost. You bomb something new, it takes a hit.
Right. And it's often tied to external stuff, praise, hitting goals, comparing yourself to others.
And this distinction matters because, well, you could have high self-esteem in one area, right? Like you're a great coder or a musician.
But if that underlying self-worth, that I am part, is low, those achievements might feel hollow or temporary.
Yeah, like you don't really deserve the praise because deep down you still believe I'm not enough.
And then any setback feels catastrophic because it just confirms that deep-seated fear.
Oof. Okay, that clarifies a lot. So if low self-worth is this fundamental issue, where does it actually stem from? What are the roots?
The sources point to a few major areas. One that comes up again and again is early life experiences.
Adverse childhood experiences.
Exactly. Especially negative messages from, authority figures. Parents, teachers, caregivers.
Being told you're worthless or stupid or you'll never amount to anything.
Yeah. Those messages, when you absorb them during those really formative years, they can get deeply internalized, become part of your core belief system.
Like if a kid constantly hears, why can't you get anything right?
That can easily twist into an adult belief of, I am not good enough. It plants that seed for the critical inner voice, that feeling of being undeserving.
Wow. It really lays the groundwork, doesn't it?
It really does. Another root mentioned is experiencing intense helplessness.
Helplessness, like
going through a significant loss, maybe. The material mentions profound grief, experiences where you feel utterly powerless, unable to control really important things in your life.
I can see that feeling of having no agency.
And if those feelings aren't really processed, they can stick around and morph into this general sense of hopelessness, like you just can't cope with life, which, of course, eats away at your sense of worth.
So it's not just childhood or big traumas. What about, like, ongoing situations?
Absolutely. The sources talk a lot about the slow burn of toxic environments.
Okay, like what?
Growing up with constant criticism, maybe emotional neglect, or being in unhealthy adult relationships, manipulation, belittling.
Or even work environments, right? Bullying, constant comparison, shame cultures.
Definitely. Imagine working somewhere your ideas always get shot down, you feel constantly compared, maybe belittled. Even if you are competent, that day in, day out negativity just wears you down.
Yeah, it reinforces that inner critic that maybe started way back when.
Precisely. It's like dripping water on a stone. Over time, it erodes your positive sense of self.
Okay, so we see the potential origins. How does this actually, show up in life? What's the real world impact?
It's pretty pervasive and sometimes subtle, even subconscious. The material talks a lot about self-sabotage in relationships and work.
Self-sabotage, how does that work?
Well, in relationships, if you deeply feel you don't deserve love, you might unconsciously push people away.
Like picking fights, being overly critical, creating distance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, when the partner inevitably pulls back because of that behavior, it tragically confirms the original belief. See, I knew they wouldn't stay. I'm not good enough.
Wow, that's a painful cycle. A self-fulfilling prophecy.
It really is. And you see similar stuff at work. Neglecting duties, missing deadlines, making small, weird mistakes.
And the person might not even know why they're doing it.
Often not consciously. It stems from that feeling of being undeserving of success. It's super frustrating for them and everyone else.
This sounds a lot like imposter syndrome, too, which came up in the sources.
Oh, absolutely. Classic manifestation. Especially common in people who are, on paper, very successful.
That feeling of being a fraud, like you just lucked out and you're going to get found out any minute.
That's the one. You achieve things, degrees, promotions, whatever, but you just can't internalize it. You dismiss compliments.
Oh, it was nothing. Anyone could have done it.
Right. And you live with this constant low-level anxiety of being exposed. It creates immense internal stress, even when everything looks great on the outside.
And this is where the material got really interesting for me, connecting this feeling, especially low self-esteem, to actual stress and health.
Yes. That study using ecological momentary assessment, or EMA, really revealing.
Where people report feelings and symptoms in real time, multiple times a day.
Exactly. They looked at people with chronic illness, and the finding was that folks with lower self-esteem consistently reported greater stress severity and greater symptom severity.
Okay, wait. Does that mean they actually had more stressful things happen, or their illness was objectively worse?
Not necessarily. That's the key. It was about perception.
Perception. How so?
Well, think about how we appraise stress. First, is this a threat? That's primary appraisal. Then, can I cope with this? Secondary appraisal. The study suggests low self-esteem hammers that secondary appraisal. If you feel inadequate deep down, you perceive your ability to handle challenges as much lower.
So the feeling, I'm not good enough to deal with this, makes the challenge feel bigger, more threatening.
Exactly. It magnifies the perceived difficulty. And consequently, the stress or the physical symptoms associated with it feel more severe.
Wow. So feeling inadequate literally changes how you experience challenges and your own body's responses.
It appears so. Self-esteem acts almost like an internal coping resource. When it's low, life's demands feel heavier. The study also linked low self-esteem to more negative emotions generally and fewer positive ones. It's a tough way to go through life.
Okay, that really underscores the cost. Let's pivot a bit to confidence then, because fake it till you make it is the common advice, but the sources kind of push back on that.
They really did. The argument was there's sort of no making it, like confidence isn't a final destination you just arrive at.
It's more nuanced.
Yeah, and often misunderstood. Just trying to act confident doesn't fix the underlying stuff, according to these perspectives.
They broke it down into types, right?
Situational confidence, like you might kill it giving a lecture on your expertise.
But feel totally awkward at a party.
Right. Then there's baseline confidence, just that general sense of confidence from successfully doing routine things over and over.
Like brushing your teeth or driving to work. You don't think about it, you just know you can do it.
Exactly. It's reliable but not flashy. And then there's state confidence.
Ah, that's the one people usually mean, right? That feeling of being capable, maybe even charismatic.
That's the one, that powerful but often fleeting feeling of readiness.
And the key point from the sources was that this state confidence, it's not owned, it's
Rented.
Yeah.
You have to pay up daily to summon it. It's not achieved, it's cultivated constantly.
Okay, interesting. So how do you pay the rent? How do you cultivate it?
The material links it to biology, specifically neurochemicals like serotonin getting boosted when you feel like you're winning.
Winning, like actually competing.
Not necessarily competing against others, more like feeling like you're making progress, achieving something, succeeding, even in small ways. Subconsciously, that feeling of winning triggers the biology that makes you feel capable.
So getting a chain of wins going is the key, not just faking the posture.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
But this ties right back to feeling inadequate. If you're stuck in what the sources call a loser mindset, low confidence thinking patterns, it's really hard to even start that chain of wins.
Okay, let's dig into that winner versus loser mindset thing. Important disclaimer.
This isn't about labeling people, right? It's about thinking patterns anyone can fall into or shift out of.
Absolutely critical point. It's about patterns, not permanent labels. And the sources argue you can't fake confidence effectively if your underlying thinking fits the loser pattern.
So what does that pattern look like?
Things like envy when others succeed, feeling threatened by their wins, being suspicious of people's motives.
Constantly needing validation. Am I doing okay? Do you like this? Yeah, that. Social anxiety, focusing way more on the risks than the opportunities.
And the core difference boils down to resources and value.
Pretty much. The loser pattern operates from scarcity. The main drive is protecting what you have, status, safety, whatever.
Yeah.
Because you fear loss.
And from that scarcity place, they might try to take value from others.
Often, yeah, maybe subtly. Dominating conversations, putting others down slightly, name dropping. It's like interactions are zero sum.
Yeah.
For me to win, you have to lose.
Okay, that's a clear picture. So the winner mindset, how's that different?
It operates from abundance. The focus isn't protection. It's creating more of what you want, success, connection, whatever.
And they gain value not by taking, but by
Contributing the most value in interactions. Sharing knowledge, being helpful, making things fun, listening well.
that idea of contributing value felt really powerful in the sources.
It's presented as potentially life-changing, shifting from what can I get to what can I give or create here. That act of contribution apparently reinforces your own sense of worth and capability. It feels like a win in itself.
Okay, this gives us a solid framework. Confidence from winning mindset involves creating and contributing. How do we actually do this? What are the practical steps for building self-worth and confidence?
Okay, several sources pointed to concrete actions. A big one, especially if you feel stuck in a losing streak, is to deliberately create small wins.
Small wins. Like what kind of wins? Not huge career moves.
No, much simpler. Things you can do right now. Making your bed, taking out the trash, showering, getting dressed nicely even if you're staying home, a short workout, finishing one tiny annoying task.
So it's about the consistency, building momentum.
Exactly. You complete these small things, you prove to yourself subconsciously, I am capable, I can do things. It starts a chain of favorable outcomes. The sources suggest trying it consistently for like 2 weeks, especially a good morning routine.
Stacking those little wins early, that makes sense. Way less daunting than trying to fake massive confidence you don't feel.
Totally. And tied right into the winner mindset is actively contributing value, intentionally focusing on how others can benefit from interacting with you.
So making an outing fun for a friend, sharing something useful with a colleague, helping someone without expecting something back right away.
All of those. When you see your positive impact, it fights that feeling of being undeserving. It reinforces your own value because you're adding value.
There was a nuance there, though, wasn't there? About how you contribute.
Oh yeah, important point. The material warns against pouring all your energy into one or two specific people hoping they will repay you. That can lead to feeling used or resentful.
So what's the alternative?
Contribute more broadly. Help across your network, trusting that value comes back around somehow, not necessarily from the person you helped directly.
Like broadcasting value, sharing knowledge publicly.
Yeah, that idea. It helps more people and can build perceived demand for your unique value or expertise over time. It's strategic generosity, not depletion.
Interesting. Okay, beyond small wins and contribution, what about the real basics?
Foundational. Basic self-care. Mental and physical. It's not fluffy, it's essential. Eating okay, moving your body, getting enough sleep. These actions tell yourself you're worthy of care. Setting small, manageable goals here helps too.
And dealing with that inner critic, the negative self-talk.
Mindfulness and meditation practices were strongly recommended. Things like compassion or gratitude meditation.
The goal isn't to silence the critic completely, but
to notice the thoughts without automatically believing them. See, I'm a failure as just a thought, not reality. That creates space. And gratitude helps counter the comparison trap.
Ah, yes, comparison. The sources mention triggers too.
Big time. Social media got called out specifically for triggering comparisonitis. Seeing endless highlight reels makes your own life feel inadequate.
So curate your feed.
Absolutely. Be mindful of how accounts make you feel. Unfollow, mute, take breaks. Protect your mental space online and maybe offline too. Choose supportive environments.
And also, gently pushing boundaries.
Yes. Challenge yourself, but start small. Go to half that party you dread. Speak up for 10 seconds in a meeting. Go out without makeup if that feels scary.
Consistency builds resilience. The nerves fade.
That's the idea. You build a new track record of capability through repeated small actions.
It sounds like a lot of this boils down to proving to yourself, through action and choice, that you are capable and valuable.
I think that's a great summary. And a huge piece is redefining success and worth for yourself. Don't let external stuff, followers, money, job titles be your only measure.
Because those things are fleeting. They don't fix the core issue.
Right. True worth, the sources argue, is internal. Your character, kindness, integrity define your version of a good life, not someone else's.
And finally, sometimes this stuff is really deep-seated.
Yes, absolutely crucial. If the struggle is intense, long-lasting, maybe tied to trauma, seeking professional help is smart and strong.
Therapy can help unpack the roots, give you strategies.
Exactly. Identify those underlying causes, learn techniques to reframe thinking, build self-esteem systematically. It can make a massive difference.
So, quite a journey we've taken in this deep dive, understanding the difference between self-worth and esteem, seeing the roots, the impacts on stress and health.
Yeah, and exploring that winner mindset versus scarcity, the power of contribution.
And getting into those practical steps. Small wins, giving value, self-care, mindfulness, managing triggers, small challenges, defining your own success.
It's really clear from all this material that building self-worth isn't like reaching a finish line. It's ongoing.
A process, a journey of choices and actions, cultivating that inner strength.
That roly-poly weight, yeah, so you can bounce back.
And thinking about how deeply feeling not good enough can actually amplify challenges and affect us physically.
Yeah.
It really lands differently.
It makes taking action feel even more important, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
So the final thought to leave you with.
If feeling inadequate magnifies challenges, what's one small win you could create for yourself, maybe even today, to start shifting that perception and building that inner core?